Paper 1, Mathematical Literacy. Please, as you do your exams, these are very important instructions. When you look at this instruction here, please, once you have the answer sheet, don't leave it with the question paper. Fill it in, and you're supposed to hand it in. All right, let's look at question number 1. Question number 1, School X and Y conducted an election for new members to serve on the school governing body. The graph below shows the number of voters voting during the different time slots at school X and Y. Number of voters per time slot at school X and Y. And here we have the graph. These were the times and these were the numbers. Okay. Write down the number of voters at school Y from 16 hours to 16:30. So we come here, we look at this. That's the first, and we are looking at Y. Y is this other one here. So these were 5. Number of voters. So here the answer is supposed to be what? 5. Identify the time slot when 30 people voted for school at school X. 30 people voted at school X. All you have to do, come here, look at where it touches the dark graph, because that's what school X. And what time was it? It was 17:30. 17:30 to 18. Okay, there we go. Choose the statement A to C below that best describes the trend of voters at school Y. Okay, let's first look at school Y. School Y starts with an increase, it goes down, then it picks up, then it goes down. That means you're looking for decrease, increase, decrease. That would be the best statement. Okay, we come here and we say, as time went by, the voters increased and then decreased. No, this is not workable. It does not work out. The voter number started high, then decreased, then picked up again. Okay, this is at least. The number of voters decreased. The number of voters decreased, then increased, and finally decreased. This is the best answer. As you see it, there's a decrease here. It goes down. Then they increased. Again, they decreased. That's what I was looking for. Decreased, increased, and finally decreased. The probability of randomly selecting a voter from the school is 0.56 during the 17 hours, 30 minutes to 18 hours time slot. Write 0.56 as a simplified fraction. So simple. This was supposed to be, those ones who don't know, just put this in your calculator and you press equal signs. Put that in your calculator and you press equal signs. If it remains as a fraction, then you press the fraction key, and it will give you the simplified form as 14/25. Others, they began by taking this, they put it over 100. Still, you still get the answer. This was supposed to be the final answer. Calculate the total number of voters at both schools who voted during 17 hours to 17:30 at both schools. So we come here 17 hours, both schools. We say, oh man, they were all the same. So they all at 25. So it's 25 plus 25. It was 25. It was 25 plus 25. Okay, the total number of voters at both schools at that time. All right, we got 1.2. The newly elected SDB plan to have lunch with the staff. Table 1 below shows the average comparative food prices for May 2022 and May 2023 needed for some of the lunch items. The comparative food prices for the some lunch price in rand and percentage change food items. Now, when you what I want you to see under the changes, if you see that a positive, that means it increased. If it's a negative, it decreased. Okay. Identify the food items that showed a decrease in both month-on-month and year-on-year percentage change. Decrease, we have from explaining. So now we have, there's a decrease here, decrease. That's our first item. So we have the sunflower. Then sunflower oil. Then we have this other one here next to it, which is orange per kg. So they are telling us identify the food items. So here we can say the sunflower oil and the oranges. Determine the missing value of A. When you look at A, it is in the slot of total. So all you had to add, we are going to add all these values here. Add all these values and you get the number there. Add all the values. So now you had to add all those values and the value of A became 298.41. Calculate the price of a dozen eggs during May 2022. A dozen eggs. Now that means we are looking at 12 items. Now this is 1.5 dozen tray, which costs how much? 52 rands, 97 cents. That's May 2022. All right. If allow me to do this 1.2.3. If 1.5 dozen was 52 rands, 52 rands, 97 cents. 52 rands. Actually, half a dozen is 18. So how much would a dozen be? So this is what. So what about one? This is what we are looking for. We shall cross multiply. This becomes okay, 1.5 equals to. So we divide through by 1.5 and divide through by 1.5. The 1.5. So we are looking for the cost of only one. So 5297 divided by 1.5. So here the answer became 35 rands. 35 rands. 35 rands at 1 cent. All right. Someone would have said 1.5 dozen. 1.5 dozens. This could be, these are 18 items. So if 18 items cost this much, what about if they are 12? What could be the answer? Same story. 18 into a box times 12 times 5.29. Because we want this side of the box, we divide through by 18. Divide through by 18. And the answer there became 12 times 52.97. You have 635.64 divided by 18. Still you have the same answer as. Where did I get the 18? Because we see 1.5 dozen. And 1.5 dozen, if you because a dozen has 12 items. If you multiply it, you get 18. You get 18. That's how I got 18. All right, we'll continue to question number 1.1.4, 0.2.4. This was this much. Okay, this is what we are doing. Let me do 1.2.4 here. Write down the unit ratio. When you actually, I've already told you, unit ratio should start with 1:2, a given number. So write down the unit ratio, the price of oranges in May 2022 to the price of oranges in May 2023. So I would like to keep the order 2022 versus 2023. What was the price in 2022? What was the price in 2023? When we come up here, we check oranges. We have this is to that. So it's 22 rands, 7 cents is to 20 rands, 10 cents. Since we need this to be 1, we divide this by this. This goes with that because I'm aiming at having a 1. And the 20, sorry about that. This is supposed to be 22, 7 cents. I'm not dividing through by the smallest number, but I'm dividing through using the ratio that I have, the order of the ratio. Which is 1:0. I didn't divide through by the smallest number, but I divided through according to the ratio. The ratio tells me 1:2 for the year of 2022 to the year of 2023. That's the order that I've rearranged them. That's why I have that much. All right, let's continue and we look at question number 1.3. 1.3 bring us the terminologies and we always match. Okay, below, table 2 below gives definitions of terminologies used in mathematical literacy. An increase in price of the basket of goods, the moment you hear all services, this one is usually what we call the inflation. Sum of all values divided by the values, this one is mean. Then the income received from items sold and the cost price of the item is the same. This is the break-even. Break-even point. Then we come to value. Value of values appearing most data handling. This is mod. Then the difference between the highest and the lowest, still we are looking data handling. This is range. An amount paid regularly at a particular rate, or the use or loan of money. This could be the installment. You can call it installment or monthly payment, usually monthly, but it's an installment. All right. These are amounts that must be paid every month and which stay the same like rent, and these ones we call them the fixed costs. Then we come here, middle value. If the moment you hear middle value, all we know it's what? The median. Expenses that change over time. These ones are variable costs. Variable costs, they keep changing. And the point where income exceeds expenses. The point where income exceeds the expenses. This one could also be in there, but anyway, it's fine. Where income exceeds expenses. Okay, break-even point, we've seen it. These are the same. Cost price equals to income received. So break-even point, we are going to say it's C. Inflation, it's already said it's A. Variable cost, we already seen it as I. And mean is B. To go back a little bit, a point where income exceeds. Yeah, this is when you start getting what? Your profit. This is after break-even point. Profit happens after break-even point. Before break-even point, you're making losses. This marks the end of question number 1. Let's look at question number 2. Let's look at question number 2. Question number 2, it talks of Maki purchased a prepaid electricity and received the following till slip. Note that some information has been omitted. Information has been left out, like the units that he or she bought. They are not omitted. Write down the meter number. This was straightforward. Meter number was this value here. Believe everyone got it right. It was 07 032 9 8 5 7 6 9. Meter number. That was it. Calculate the missing value of B. When you look at the missing value of B, it corresponds with the VAT. There are two ways of doing this. Already now, the total, you cannot have a total without VAT. So that means this total already has VAT. So meaning they added these two. So if you're looking for the value of B, you are supposed to get this, subtract. You could subtract that value there, and you get the value of B. The value of B there was supposed to be 169, 56. All right. Or another method would have been the value there before VAT times 0.15. You still get the same answer as 169.56 cents. Those were the two methods of doing it. Okay. A partial residential electricity tariff table, excluding VAT, is shown below. And now they're asking us, determine the number of kilowatts, which are the units Maki purchased. Now, what we're going to do first and foremost, each bracket, block number 1, what are the maximum kiloliters? 350. So now, if you use 350, how much do you pay? You pay 2.19 cents. So we are looking at that. So how much do you get? Remember, the person paid before VAT, the person paid 1,130. So we are looking for 1,130, this is before VAT. This is what we're dealing with, because also these values, the costs here are excluding VAT. So now, if we shall think, or we shall start with block 1. If I only used block 1, we need to find out how much could he pay. So it was this much. Block 1, 350 times 219. So he could have paid 766 Rand for block 1 only. But now he used more than this. That means he went to block number 2. So now if he went to block number 2, what are you going to do? You're going to get the money that he paid minus the one for block number 1. And whatever will remain with, meaning it came from block number 2. So we are subtracting this. We subtract that. We subtract that and remain with 300. 300. It's 363 rands, 93. So now this one comes from block number 2. So what do we do to find out the units? Because not only block number 1, the units we've got them as 350 kilowatts. So what units caused this much, or what unit cost this much if they belong? So we are going to divide by 2.19. Divide by 2.91, and the answer became 125, comma 06. So what do? We are going to add the 2, whereby we end up having that the person bought or the person used. These are the units the person used. 350 coming from block number 1, and the 125 coming from block number 2. We add the 2, we get the final answer. All right. We are using this value without VAT because also these values that we see here, they exclude VAT, as you see it here stated. Okay, go to the next question, 2.2. Mikey plans to install a home solar system unit consisting of solar panels, a battery, and an inverter. She sees an advert below in the community newspaper showing 2 different payment options for the same unit. Home solar system unit payment options. Option number 1, rent to own, whereby you pay for 7 years at a monthly cost of 1,549 rands per month. Then additional costs are 782, the initial fees, initiation fees, then a buyout after rental. This we consider this to be residue, which is 7,820. Then the other one is cash amount, including VAT. Definitely, I believe also this was the include VAT. Write down the monthly installment for the rent out. So monthly. So how much does the person pay? It's this much that we know. We would have talked of this, but this is initially, I think this is given at the beginning. All right. But the monthly fee that we have on it's what is that much. So you have to write it down. You write, you say 1,549 rands. Okay. 0 cents. Calculate the excluding VAT. Calculate excluding VAT, the cash price. Now we are going to cash price, excluding VAT of the home solar system unit. Here we are. This is the cash price, but we need, this already includes VAT. We need to remove VAT. What we do when we are removing VAT, we always divide. Exclude, you divide. Include, you multiply. Then you divide by 1,15. 1,15, which is, you have it as 68,000 when you exclude VAT. You exclude VAT, you get it as that much. Okay, we will go to the other answer, which says, other question that says 2.2.3. After 7 years, Maki decided to buy out the rent to own option. Calculate the extra amount she has to pay compared to buying the home solar system unit for cash. These are 5 marks, but then you have to put something in mind. How much we are looking for, how much extra amount. Okay, allow me to do this now. We shall come down here. Let's use this. Extra amount. This is question number 2.2.3. We are looking at extra. That means you're going to, the moment you hear extra, we shall need to subtract somehow. Anyway, we need to find out how much will she spend on the 7 years. So here we are. We need to calculate for, so for 7 years, 7, so it will, because this is monthly, we shall multiply this by 7, again multiply it by 12 to find out how much is it. All right. So we do that. 1,549 times 7 times 12, you end up having 130,116. This is only in installments, then plus the initiation fee, which is, you had to do it to add an initiation fee, then plus the buyout. Look at that. When you add everything there, you end up having 138,710. This is when you buy your rent out on now. Cash, so we are looking for extra. How much extra? So you need to subtract. Now you're going to subtract. You're going to subtract minus 78,200. And the difference is 60,510. This is the difference. That's how much extra you would have paid. I like it to work it out when it's separated like this. We say 7 years times 12 times 1,049. This is the money for monthly installment, whereby we have this much plus the initiation fee plus the buyout, the residue. So the person has paid this much. So what's the difference with the cash, which is, the answer became that's the final answer. Let's look at question number 2.3.1. Tells us to use an extra A. But before we go there, let's see. Mark is 45 years of age. He earns a monthly, already this is taxable, so you don't need to look for taxable income. Monthly taxable income in year 2023, 2024 tax year. She does not belong to any medical aid, so we shall not look for the medical tax credits. We don't need them. And the next year, A shows the annual tax table for individuals for 2023-2024 tax year. Here they're saying identify the tax bracket where Maki will use to calculate her income tax. Now, first and foremost, since this is monthly, we need to make it annual. We shall say the 39,275,85 times 12. Times 12, get that much. We end up having a certain answer here, which is 471,310 and 20 cents. This is what will determine. All right, let's go to the next year. You see, this is the addendum. All right, this is the next year that we are looking at. The value that we've got from there, the person earns this much money. The value that we are looking at is 471,310, 22 cents. So you come here, you check, it can't belong here. It has already passed that, but it's in between this. So it's bracket number C. Sorry, bracket C. So here they're asking you which bracket will it be? Bracket C. Even though you said bracket 3, you could be right. All right. All we need to know, do you understand what's going on? Do you get the bracket correctly? All right, here we go and we see question number 2.3.2. Calculate Maki's annual tax payable. Now, this is when we are going to use the tables. We're going to pick that bracket that you have chosen for us and we shall calculate. All right, we shall go there. Let's pick bracket number 3. Bracket number 3, nothing good because this one here indicates where the person belongs. So we are going to write this down. All right, so we shall say 77,362 plus 0.31. The reason why I have 0.31, I took the 31, I put it over 100. Into brackets, I'll put the money that the person gets annually. Remember, we got it from the other side. Minus, remember we are looking at this bracket here, minus this, which is already here. To avoid getting wrong answers at this moment in time, you can put this into your calculator. All right, put it in your calculator where it is. Or you come here, do this for me, get the answer that you have in the brackets there. Get the answer that you have in the brackets. You have 100,810.20 cents. So in this, at this time, put it in the calculator and you get your final answer. Get your answer there. Get your answer. Let's see. So we add on this much. So we have 108,613. 108,613 rands 16 cents. At this moment, we look at the rebate. So we subtract the rebate. Remember, the person was 45 years of age. The person only qualifies for primary rebate. Don't look at the threshold. It's not needed. This is to, the threshold is used to determine whether one pays or they don't pay. So we found out that they pay. So we don't need the threshold. So we subtract the rebate only. Had he or had she got medical tax credits, then we would also subtract the medical tax credits. So we are subtracting this much. And our final answer became 91,378 rand 16 cents. That was the answer. Calculate annual tax payable. That's how we calculate the annual tax payable. But they ask for monthly. This is when you divide by 12. Okay, let's continue to the other question. That marks the end of question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 3 carries data handling. All right, let's look at question number 3. Question number 3. Use an extra B. Use an extra B. Use an extra B. Use an extra B. Sorry, an extra B shows two graphs. Graph 1 showing the trends in total number of ShopRite and Pick and Pay stores for the period 2024 to 2023. And graph 2 shows the trend in the total number of employees in these two stores for the period of 2025 to 2023. So here we come and we say, use an extra B and information above to answer the questions that follow. Identify the year in which there was a decrease in the number of employees in Pick and Pay stores for the first time. Identify, we are identifying decrease in number of employees where in Pick and Pay. Pick and Pay. All right, for the first time. So we shall come to the next year here. Number of employees. We look at this side here, number of employees. Pick and Pay, it's this one here, decrease. It's this. Now here we can't tell because this is from 2000, these are 9 years, 10 years. Then here also you have approximately 10 years. So the decrease was here. It came down. So I don't know. The year here, I think we would have written because I think identify the year. So we don't really get it there. But anyway, those ones I believe you can write 2014, or you would have said after. The year was after 2014. It is projected that the number of Pick and Pay stores will increase by 95.39% from 2023 to 2032. Determined by means of calculations, the projected number of Pick and Pay. Projected number. So we need to look for the 95.3 over 100 times the number of stores in 2023. Let's go to our next year. Number of stores in 2023. You see there 2,000. This is Pick and Pay. 2,204. So this is going to increase by 95. So we need to know. We are looking at the projected number. So we shall bring here 2204. How many shops are those? That's what you're looking at. Projected number. It becomes 2,102, by this we put it up since stores can't be half. You can do that. Discrete data. All right. We look at that and we say, an analyst stated that ShopRite employed more employees per store than Pick and Pay during 2023. So we are looking, take note of that, we are looking for employed more per store. So this one here, employees per store. This one gives you the formula, which will be you're going to get the number of employees divided by the number of stores in both, and we find out which one is which. Okay, we shall start with ShopRite. We shall start with ShopRite 2023. We shall come here. We say number of employees, which is 153,727. So we shall say ShopRite. We had to take divided by the number of stores in that year. The number of stores of ShopRite, look at them. That's ShopRite, the solid line ShopRite. So we divide by. So since these are human beings, because the answer becomes this much, so which is approximately 44. All right. Then Pick and Pay. We shall come here. Look, Pick and Pay. How many people were there? They were 90,000. So 90,000 divided by the number of stores. The number of stores were 2,204. So we divide by that. And we ended up having 40.83. Since these are human beings, we have. So they are saying, analysis says, verify showing calculation whether the analysis statement is valid. It says that ShopRite employed more. So the statement is what? The statement is valid. It's a valid statement. The statement is valid. Statement is valid. All right, we look at question number 3.1.4. This was 3.1.3. Determine as a percentage the probability of randomly selecting a year where the number of ShopRite stores is fewer than or smaller than 2,000. Come here. 2,000 is here. Where is the line below? So we have this year here, 1, this year here, 2, this year there, 3. These numbers are below 2,000. So out of how many years? Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So out of the 10 years, we have 3 out of 10. But they said as a percentage, multiply by that. So the answer became 30%. I'm looking at question number 3, 3.1.4. As a percentage, randomly selecting. So we've seen there are 30 years out of 10, multiply by 100. The answer became 30%. All right. We go to question number 3.2, the data handling. They're asking us, okay, so sorry, they're telling us, a study relating to the amount of time spent in minutes by a selected number of customers in a store was conducted on a particular Saturday. On that Saturday, a total of 12,342 customers visited the store. And so, okay, use the information above and answer the question that follows. Write down the number of customers that represented the sample size and the customers that represented the population size. Now, the sample size are these ones that they collected. Yeah, sample. But then the population, it's this number here. So sample, we calculate, we say, these how many were they? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Still, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here we shall say the sample size, the sample is 8 by 4, which is what? 32. I've just counted these ones here. So multiply that and this. 32. And the population. The population is 12,342. So those were the answers. All right. Choose the correct option, A, B, C, D, or E, that represents the stage in data handling process that uses the measures of central tendency and spread. Let's remind ourselves, measures of central tendency. Here we have the triple M, which is mean, mode, and median. Whereas spread, we have range, the IQR, the quartiles themselves, these measures of spread. Anyway, these ones, measures of spread, and where do they belong? They belong to C, whereby we are summarizing the data. Data collection, when you're starting, classifying, that's when you use the table of tables and knowing whether it's categorical. You use the frequency tables. Then summarizing, that's when you use the measures of central tendency and spread. Representing, you use graphs. Analysis, that's when you go deeper to find out which one is skewed and what. All right. Give a reason why the value of 127 is considered an outlier in the data set. Why is it considered an outlier? Look at these numbers that you have here. When you look at them, they're in tens. Together? They are in tens. They're in tens. Actually, oh yeah, we have these are ones. These are ones, they're not that far from the tens. You see? But this is in hundreds. So it's at the extreme. So it's considered that because it is at the extreme end of the data set. Is at the extreme. We usually call them, I for one, when I'm explaining, I call them stupid numbers. They are found in values where they are not supposed to be. Okay, we go to this other question here, which says, Shown below in rank order is selected data of time spent by, take note of that, in rank order. Simply meaning they are from smallest to biggest, which is okay. Time spent by the customers in the store and incomplete box and whisker plot of the same data. Now, when you take note, this data is from the one we've just seen above. These are supposed to be 32 values. Let's count and we see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So this is 11 times 2 plus 10, which is 22 plus 10, 32 values. Okay, now I'm good to go. So now I know that my values are 32. Okay, if there are 32 values and I'm asked to find the Q2, what will I do? Anyway, have they asked me to do that? Let me see. Question number A, or part A, calculate the value of the upper quartile, 3 marks. Now, take note, we are given the minimum. We have the Q1. We don't have Q2. Q2 is missing. And remember, Q2 is what we use to determine the left and the right. You understand? So, since these are 32 values, 32, I'll divide by 2, I get 16. That means if I get a definite number, that means I need to take the 16th number and the 17th number, I add them, I divide by 2. So wait, let me count. I'll just count. I've already said these are 11. So I'll say 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'll get these 2. That means, oh, this is my Q2 when I add the 2. So now if you add the 2 to determine Q2, which is 23, that means there's no, those values, since you added them, there is no what? There's no definite value there. So we shall say, I'll start from here and I will end here looking for Q3. So now, of these values, I'm remaining with 16 values. Still, 16, if I divide by 2, I'll remain with 8 numbers. That means I will add 8 and the 8th and the ninth number. That's what I'm going to add. So on this side here, from this side going on, I'll count 8 numbers. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 27 plus 28. You understand? I divided this by 2. So 27 plus 28 divided this, you end up having 28 plus 28 comma. It's 27,5. So the value of Q3 is 27,5. Please, you show how you got it, because these are 3 marks. 16, I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 2 numbers that will remain. I will add them and I will divide by 2. Remember, quartiles are medians. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Let's make a little bit of corrections here. Let's make a little bit of corrections. Remember, there are 32 numbers. So if the median was got around here, so this marks the left-hand side, and this other side marks the right-hand side. And this is where we're going to get the Q3. All right. we are going to get the Q3. So we remain with 16 numbers on both sides. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Of these 16, we are going to look for the median, which will become our Q3. So 16, so 16, we need 8 and 9. The number in the eighth place, on the right-hand side, and the number on the ninth place, in the ninth place on the right. So we shall just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our Q3 will be here. So we shall say Q3 will equal to 28 plus 29 divided by 2, which became 28,5. 28,5. Our Q3 is that much. Vuyo stated that if the outlier value was removed from the data set, the new interquartile range value would be 13. So before we go ahead, we have to ask ourselves, how do we get the interquartile range? Interquartile range will be IQR Q3 minus Q1. So we need to know the Q3, and then because now they will change. They are asking us, or they are telling us if this number is removed, the 120. If 127 is removed, the interquartile range is going to change. That's what they're telling us. So we need to prove it. So I've removed it a little bit. Let me remove it. If this number is removed, let's prove to see whether the interquartile range will change. So we shall say, now we need to start afresh. I believe because there were 32, now there are 31. Definitely there's a number that remains in between. So 31 divided by 2, you end up having 15,5. So we are going to count the 16th number is the median. So we shall count, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this number here becomes the median, which is Q2. So since this is a median, this becomes our left. We look for the Q1. And this will become the right. We shall look for Q3. Now, if this one comes out, we remain with 30 numbers. 30 divided by 2, you remain with 15. Sorry. What am I saying? Yes, we remain with 15. And so we have 15 on one side, 15 on the other side. So 15 also divided by 2, that means the seventh number will be, sorry, the eighth number will be our median, Q1. So we shall say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we remain with 7 numbers on both sides, because 7 plus 7, you get 14, plus 1, you get 15. So our Q1 is 15. Now let's look for the Q3. So Q3 inside it becomes, still we shall count also 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has become our Q3. Because now we have 8 on both sides, because 1, 2, so we have 7. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So so now we come down and we say, remember, we are proving whether the IQR will become 13. So indeed, it will become 13 because you see now our Q3, our IQR now has become, Q3 is 28 minus Q1, which is that much, and the answer became 13. So the statement is valid. The statement is valid. Okay, we go to question number 4. Question number 4, we deal with finance a little bit. Lee's parents plan to celebrate his 21st birthday. This special event will be held at a popular hotel starting from 18 hours, which is 6 p.m. Below shows some of the budgeted expenses for the party. Table 4, budgeted expenses for the party, whereby we have the cost of the venue, food and drinks, birthday cake, then options for the DJ, whereby we have DJ Rain, DJ 5 Star, and DJ Cool. Use table 4, use table 4 and the information above, answer the questions that follow. Here we go, we are looking at this. Now, I'm here looking at this table, there's something that you see, which is quite awkward. You have 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. What will be the value of P in your understanding? It will be also what? 4,000. You understand? Why do we have 4,000 here? Oh yeah, it's here. It's DJ Rain. DJ Rain has a constant amount of money. You pay 4,000 for the first 5 hours. The moment you exceed this, you pay 1,025 rand. Sorry, 1,250 per hour that you have exceeded. All right. So now they're asking us, write down the formula. Or if you didn't write the formula, they would have asked you to write down the equation. If not an equation, you would have written the expression. To calculate the cost to hire the DJ. Now, first and foremost, pay 4,000. Thereafter, 1,200 times the number of hours that have exceeded what? 5. This could be your equation. This is your equation. If the hours have exceeded 5, then you're free to use the equation. But before 5, the amount that he wants, 4,000. Complete the table by calculating the missing values of P, Q, and R. So now, as I told you, P you can't calculate. So the value of P there, it is 4,000. Then we go to Q. The value of Q, the hours have gone what? They are 6 hours. Now, how much have they exceeded? They have exceeded by 1. That means the person paid 4,000 for the first hour plus. And the answer became 5,250. Then what about the value of R? The value of R, they have exceeded by how many? By 4 hours. So this will be 4,000 plus 4 times 1 to 5. And the answer became plus 5,000. So your value of R, it's 9,000. Okay, question number 4.1.2 to answer us to use the answer sheet. Wants us to use the answer sheet. Let's go straight to the answer sheet and you see what we could do. This is how it looks like. Don't forget to fill in. Fill it in and hand it in, submit it, please. All right, here we go. We've already seen. Here we've got it as 4,000. Here we've got it as 5,250. And here we have it as 9,000. For you to get a perfect line, please ignore some number because you can't plot this one here. This is disturbing. Yes, you can try this. This is also disturbing. This is perfect. This is okay. But then the problem here is now, you see it's 4,000 throughout. What does it mean? That you come here to the 4,000, you draw a line. Draw a line up to 5 hours. Why are we stopping at 5 hours? Because it says he charges 4,000. He charges 4,000. Then don't worry about the 6 and 7 to profit. What do? The 9 is perfect. 9 goes with 9,000. So 9 goes. So what you do, come and match this 9 here and the 9,000 here. So here you draw a straight line. Then in between now, this is when you come and start forging. 6,000, 7,000, 8. You see that? But we need a straight line. Don't forget, you should label it and you say it's DJ what? DJ rain. Okay. This is what was supposed to be done over there. Next. It says, name the type of graph used to represent the cost of hire for DJ5. DJ5 star. DJ5 star, which one is it? We need to have a key. DJ5 star, it's this one that has zeros and it ends with a dash. This kind of graph is called the step function. It's used when we are looking at the water tariffs or electricity tariffs. It's called a step function, this kind of graph. You see actually, even when you look at it, you see that there are steps. You understand? Step 1, you go to step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. This is called a step function. It's a step function. All right. We've already drawn this and showed you. Supposed to be a 9, then you go up. Great. Liz parents decided to hire DJ star 5 star, sorry. Then for the 21st century, then they're asking us, the total budgeted expenses. For total budgeted expenses, what are they going to spend on? But remember, it's from 6 to 1:30. I have to find out how many hours are these. I calculated and I found out that you have 7 hours and 30 minutes. But I will tell you, this guy will charge you, he will charge you the cost of 8 hours. Why? Because when you look at DJ5, 5 star, he charges 1,000 per hour or part thereof. What does this simply mean? Should you only use 30 minutes, we'll charge 1,000. Should you use 1 hour and 20 minutes, we'll charge for 2 hours. If you exceed that 1 hour, whatever time you've exceeded becomes a full, he counts it as another hour. All right, now, expenses, that's what we are looking at. How much are they budgeted expenses? So we shall come here. First and foremost, what we are supposed to do was to look for the hours. Remember, it's going for them, it's going to start from 12 to 1 to 1:30. So the guy says, actually, when you do your calculations, you find out 7 hours, 30 minutes. So we are saying these are 8 hours. So the DJ, how much will the DJ ask? The DJ will ask for 8 hours times 1,000. So you calculate that much. Then add on these other values here. So which became, we are looking at budgeted expense, not exact use, but actually it becomes like that. So we are saying the DJ is going to ask for 8,000 plus we have the deposit of 750. Then we have the venue, which is 6,180 5, then plus 18,000 for the foods and drinks, and for the cake, which is 1,250. So when you add everything up, the person ended up paying 34,180. It's 5 marks because you had to calculate this money correctly. First, you have to look for the hours of the DJ. You're using 8, yet they're going to spend 7 hours and 30 minutes. Why do we consider 30 minutes? Because they're saying part there are all. But there are all. Give one reason why these parents did not choose DJ Cool. This could be he might not be available. He is unavailable. All right. If not, maybe they did history about him and they know that his music is not it's not his the history, like the music played. It's not their taste. Maybe. You know, DJs, you don't tell them what to play. They come with their music already knowing. What else could it be? Maybe also they looked at DJ Cool and they a mere glance, you say, oh, this is the cheapest guy, 1,000 per hour. And they didn't know whether it will spend 4 hours or, maybe it will be cheaper because this one's asked for 6,000 straight. You understand? It looks to be expensive, but it might be cheaper if you're going to spend a long time. Actually, it was cheaper because even, let me say, if you use DJ Rain, yeah, it was the cheapest. If you use DJ Rain now, 8 hours, 8 hours, you pay 7,750. Here we are paying 8,000. Yet DJ Cool is going to pay 6,000. You know, at a glance, they saw that it was expensive. There are many reasons that parents could leave the guy out. Okay. 4.2. The hotel has 3 other small venues, each accommodating a maximum number of guests per function as listed below. Cinema style venue, 400 guests. Sit down venue without dancing space, 250 guests. Then sit down venue with dancing space, 200 guests. Now here we go. It says table 6 shows the number of guests accommodated for the function at 3 venues during the specific month in 2022 and 2023. Write down as a decimal the probability that the cinema style venue was chosen as a suitable function venue for all the functions held during 2022. Probability. Now, there are only 3. Out of the 3, we only have cinema as 1. So we shall say this as a decimal. So 1 out of 3. And the answer becomes decimal. This is what we are looking at. Okay. Determine the median, the number of guests accommodated during 2023. Determine median, the number of guests accommodated during 2023. Now, these ones, we are looking at them. 2023, first and foremost, median. What comes in your head? A range in ascending order. So we have to start with, this one's the smallest, followed by this. We have 3. You should do this on your question paper in that when you take it to the answer sheet, you do not have to scratch. So we have 3 there. We have 4, followed by 5. We have 6. We have 7. Eventually, we have 8 and 9. So there are 9 values. So let's arrange them again here as we answer. We have 90, 150, 160, 200. Sorry, 180, 200, then 215, 230. We have 350. We have 400. And that's where we end. So there are 9. Definitely we shall remain with full numbers on the sides. So here, if you remain with full numbers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 200. So median median equals to 200. And next year, okay, we are looking at 4.2.3. The manager stated that the range of the number of guests per function during 2022 is the same as the range of guests per function during 2023. So we are dealing with the ranges. So we can start with either way. So we can start with 2023. But what you have to keep in your mind that range equals to the highest value minus the lowest value. So in 2023, what was the highest value? 2023, we are from looking at it, which was 400. Together, it's 400. The lowest value was 90, which gives you 310. So what about 2022? So you don't need to repeat the formula. We've already seen that you know how to use it. But pick the number. 2022, what was the highest value? Highest value in 2022 was 306. And the lowest value is 70. This is a lie. So 360 minus 70. And here looking at it, you have 290. So the statement is what? Don't forget this. The statement is invalid. The statement is invalid. We look at question number 5, which says the pie charts on annexure C show the Indian Union budget for income and expenditure for 2023. Let's look at annexure C. Annexure C 5.1. Okay, we look at that and see. So they're telling us, choose the correct word from the given in bracket. Write down only the word next to the question number. What do they mean? You are supposed to only write, in your answer sheet, you are supposed to write 1.5, then the word there. So a budget is a dash, deficit, surplus, balanced budget when the income is less. No, my friend. When the income is less, it becomes what? A deficit. You're working in what we call deficits. But then when the income is more, it becomes a surplus. When the income equals to expend, it becomes a balanced one. So here the answer is supposed to be deficit. Why? You are in negatives. All right. The general sales tax, GST, is a tax that is similar to VAT in South Africa. Calculate the missing percentage for GST on the pie chart. First and foremost, go to the pie chart, look for GST. Which side is it? Is it this side or that side? Wow, it's this side. It's here missing. Now, another thing, analyze what's given to you. These are percentages, they're not degrees. So these percentages have to add up to 100. So since this is missing, that means we are supposed to get 100 minus 34 minus 15 minus another 15 minus a 4 minus a 7 minus 6 minus a 2. And the answer became 17%. 17% was the one which is missing. 17% which was missing. All right, we go back and we see the question there. Talks of calculate the missing percentage. We've done that. We have seen it. It's 17%. Calculate the lacquer chorus, the amount paid on defense in India. Now, when we come here, the amount spent, remember, amount spent, expenditure, not income. So on defense, it's 8%. But how much money are they looking at? They're looking at 45.03 lakh crores. So we shall, when we come here, we shall say spent on, say, 8% times the money. So which became 3,6024 lakh like a crowns. Okay, list the sources of income shown on the pie chart where the total percentage adds up to the borrowing percentage value. 3 of them, when you add them, you get this borrowing value. So we have 15 plus 15 plus 4. Because when you add this, you get 30, 30 plus you get 30. So you are supposed to write these items down. Let's write those items down, which is cooperation, cooperation. Then we have income tax. And lastly, customs. Such calculated in Ilakako was the amount spent on increased payment. He rounded off his answer to the nearest whole number. I said that the rounded answer actually did not make much difference in rupees when he compared to the non-rounded answer in rupees. So first and foremost, we are going to look at amount spent on interest payment. That's what we are looking at. Interest payment, it's 20%. Interest payment. So we shall say 20% times 4503. You say he rounded off the answer to the whole number, 0, that times. So they have 0,006, whereby he got 9. These are Laka codes. Okay, now we need to look at it in rupees. What will it be in rupees? But then there's a difference here. There's a difference because now in rupees, what are we going to do? We shall have to first change this. I'll say 20% times this money here. This money has to change into rupees. Remember the conversion factor that you had up here. You know, but lakhs equals to 1 koa. 100 lakhs equals to 1 koa. There's a confusion here. There's a confusion because how can you convert this? Because now these are lakhs. Then we have a koa. And when you look at the question, and when you look at the question here on top, they are talking of the two mixed together. There's something wrong that I don't understand here. There's something I don't understand. How do we convert? The conversion is longer. Okay. We look at question number 2. Okay. In 2024, South Africa received 302.4 billion. They convert this to millions. Now remember, a billion has 9 zeros. So if these are billions and you want them to become millions, of the 9 zeros, we shall lose 3, which becomes a million. So indeed, now if you lose 3, of the 3, you're remaining with 4. Of the 4, you're going to lose another 1 because there's a comma here. So the answer becomes this much. But don't forget, these are what? Millions. The easiest way to understand this, you would say, change it to billions, which is 302.4. Since it's supposed to have 9 zeros, since it's supposed to have 9 zeros and there's a comma here, that means it should have 8. but these are billions. We want them to become millions. What do? You divide by 1,000,000. So if you divide by 1,000,000, look at that. This zeros here will leave. So what do you remain with? You remain with, which is up there. And you've converted to million. Okay. That's how the answer was supposed to be. Hence, they are telling us, hence convert the South African corporate income tax to Laka Core. And now let's see this. Now, yeah, you see this. This is a little bit understandable. These are Lakas. These are rupees. You see that? Then these are rupees. These are rands. So then we can continue because the rands we have, they are here. So you ask yourself, if 1,000,000 rand, 1,000,000 rand gives you 4,4,5,7,989,1 rupees. We are converting the South African to Laka cost. So there's no South Africa to Laka cost. It's rupees, then we have to change the money to rupees. So this is 302,400 equals to a given number here. Multiply, and divide by 1,000,000. So allow me to do this. One million rand equals to 4,447,989,1. These are rupees. These are rupees. Now, these are rupees, 1,000,000 rand. This is million. Now, where you have 300 and million, what will it be in rupees? That means you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply 302,400 times 4,447,989,1 1 divided by the million. So you end up having 1,3,4,5,0. These are rupees. We are changing them to Laka. Now, only the rupees that you have, if you have so much, rupees, you have 4 comma, which became this much, yeah? Cross multiply. And you divide it by 4,4,7,989,1. And you have it as this much. These are the Lakas. Okay, look at the other question, 5.3. Describe the trend in inflation rates in India. Now, how do you describe it? There is an increase. there is an increase. Trend, the change. Look at that. When you write them, okay, 2020, 21, you see, they're just increasing as the years go up. We do the last question. They're asking us how much the house was worth at the end of 2020. Now, when you look at this, the house was bought in 2024. They're asking us at the end of 2020. So we need to know, or we are going to work backwards. Backwards. How do we work backwards? I'm going to show you. So in 2024, house was 5 million, worth 5 million. But remember, it had increased by 8. So we need to reduce it by 8. So we say we divide by 1,08. So the answer becomes what? Becomes 4, 6, 2, 9, 6, 2, 9,63. This is 2000. So this was 24. Now just 23. Again, it has to reduce by what? By this percentage here, which is 1,075. When you reduce it by 1,075, the answer you get, it will be for 2021. It was that much. Sorry, 2022. Asking how much was the house worth at the end of 2022. Was this what? What was this much? That marks the end of our discussion. Thank you very much. Let's look at question paper 1, mathematical literacy. Paper that was written today, the basic education, Department of Education, Republic of South Africa. Paper 1, mathematical literacy. Please, as you do your exams, these are very important instructions. When you look at this instruction here, please, once you have the answer sheet, don't leave it with the question paper. Fill it in, and you're supposed to hand it in. All right, let's look at question number 1. Question number 1, school X and Y, school X and school Y conducted an election for new members to serve on the school governing body. The graph below shows the number of voters voting during the different time slots at school X and Y. Number of voters per time slot at school X and Y. And here we have the graph. These were the times and these were the numbers. Okay. Write down the number of voters at school Y from 16 hours to 16:30. So we come here, we look at this. That's the first, and we are looking at Y. Y is this other one here. So these were 5. Number of voters. So here the answer is supposed to be what?